Hey everybody, it's Alexia from amysticspath, back with another video for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Now today I want to talk about the energy that we're in and why we have been having some of the breakdowns that we have been having, okay, on an astrological standpoint, as above, so below. All right, and today I'm going to be talking about some of, and I want to emphasize some because these are not all of the planets that are retrograde currently, but they are a big bulk of them, well, most of them, and the sun. But first I want to backtrack to a couple of weeks ago, or about a month ago, when I was talking about the energy of us going back to the drawing board and seeing what it is that we needed to really evaluate that was not working. And then we seen a lot of the riots and protests starting, okay? And then moving forward, I was talking about how we were then reviewing to seeing what was it that we essentially needed to work on. What were the cracks that needed to be addressed to fix the issues that we needed to fix? Then moving forward to this week, I seen us diving deeper into what needs to be addressed, okay? Now, we are feeling these energies and maybe feeling pushed to deal with some of these things that are coming up, but the planets trigger events that highlight things that need to be addressed where there is issues. If there is an issue, it is going to be dealt with, okay? And these planets are essentially working for our best benefit, all right? And these breakdowns that we're having, again, are to highlight the cracks in the foundation or things that need to be worked on and transformed and molded to move on into the future. Now, the first planet that I want to talk about is Pluto, our planet of sex and death, transformation, control, power, okay? Retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, which rules structure, foundation, and essentially government. Now, Pluto is highlighting things that are structural within us and globally right now that need to be reevaluated and that need to be changed. All right. And this is why we're seeing it on such a big scale because, one, Pluto is the planet of power. Okay, and Pluto is the planet of control. And when Pluto goes retrograde, he decides that this now is the time that we are addressing these things. Now, moving to Saturn, we have Saturn that went retrograde in the sign of Aquarius, but has been backtracking and is about to enter Capricorn. He is currently on the last degree of Aquarius right now. With Saturn, which his home is in Capricorn, which essentially rules government and structure and rules and responsibility, in the sign of Aquarius, which wants nothing but to do different. So we are feeling the sparks of things that are different and wanting change. And Aquarius rules humanitarian rights. This is why we're seeing this exemplified. But we also have to understand that, yes, we're seeing this globally. We have to reflect and see how this is working within us as well. We are looking at our structure, how we are as empathetic and all of these things, that these things are being reviewed within the sign of Aquarius. A lot of us are being more outspoken at this time because of Saturn being in Aquarius as well. Now, he is transitioning back to the sign of Capricorn, where we will be then trying to review things of what potentially possibly could work, okay? Now, I want to also talk about Venus retrograde in Gemini. Venus is our planet of beauty, love, aesthetic, okay? What we value, what we find attractive. Gemini is an intellectual air sign that is ruled by the twins. So this is both good and dark information coming in, and not even just good and dark. Like, that is a big association with the twins, but it is a lot of, it's kind of like Gemini is looking at both sides of things equally, where Libra kind of weighs them. Gemini is looking at them equally in a different way because there's two sides to everything. There's a light side and a dark side, right? So here we see ourselves reviewing what it is that we love, what it is that we value, what it is that we don't love, what it is that we don't want, what it is that we don't want to be experiencing, what it is that we might want to be experiencing, Okay, a lot of memories of things when we have been experiencing something that we would like to experience again may be coming up. Okay. We also have the sun in the sign of Cancer. And the sun is how we express ourselves and is our vitality and our life force energy. Okay. And Cancer rules the home, emotions, privacy, security, okay? So these are the things that we are focusing on, but it's really being highlighted in our emotions right now. One, we are more protective of ourselves, okay? And I'll explain why in a moment. And we're protective of those that we love and those around us, okay? But we are also very emotional. Now, Mercury, our planet of logic and ideas and communication and what we think and honestly our perception, is retrograde in the sign of Cancer, which is very emotional. Okay? But what this planet, and I want to kind of highlight this before I forget because this is a very big part of what Mercury is trying to do in the sign of Cancer retrograde, but is not the whole of this video, is that Mercury retrograde is also, since Cancer is such the sign of giving, we want to give, and nurture others and be there for others. Mercury retrograde in the sign of Cancer is one, asking us to dial back and focus on nurturing ourselves because we've been nurturing others too much. We've been doing too much outwardly. We need to take care of ourselves, and that's why a lot of us may be fizzled out here. Okay, now Mercury retrograde in the sign of Cancer is also working to highlight issues that you push back in your mental state that have emotional trauma connected to them, okay? As well as home life issues, issues in your security. All right, these are all things that are being brought to your mental state right now, that are being asked for you to look at. So we may be seeing some really big things break down in front of us with structurally for us, things that we need to transform, where we need to get into being in more control of our lives, or where we need to realize that we are not in control and it's not our place anymore. We are also seeing breakdowns happening within communication with people that we care for, that we care about because of Mercury in Cancer retrograde. And this is working to show, one, highlighting things that we're hiding emotionally that need to be worked out, as well as working on our communication issues. Because this time is going to highlight a time where we need to be more receptive than outward spoken. Because there is so much going on that we don't know the whole of. Why? Because we have so much going on astrologically, and we're getting hit from all these different angles, again, for transformation and what's going on within us structurally, what it is that we want that is truly going to be bliss for us, and these emotional wounds that need to be healed and things that need to be reevaluated before we move on. So these planets aren't working to destroy you or destruct you in any way. They are working to highlight things that are weak and that need to be taken care of. And not saying weak in a sense of like weak, saying weak in a sense of that there's an issue there, that there's something that's being repressed, there's something that's not being shed light on, or there's something that's wrong that needs to be changed. We are in a great pivotal point of change that is possible from the energies that are being exerted from the cosmos. And I really want to emphasize the fact that these breakdowns they may be, yes, there's some people that you may need to cut off, some situations that you may need to say goodbye to that are dead. But we do not want to neglect the fact that we also need to be understanding that sometimes it is exposing things that need to be fixed. because it's essentially a part of our evolution. And this is why we are in such a big point of evolution within ourselves, not only on a global level, but internally, because of not only the planets that are retrograde, but their placements together. It is all divine will and divine timing. Pluto being retrograde in Capricorn at the same time as Saturn in Aquarius, at the same time as Venus in Gemini and Mercury in Cancer. Because Mercury in the sign of Cancer, one, we got ignited by Mercury being in the sign of Gemini, and that other voice coming in that's saying, hey, no, this is enough of this. This isn't what we're going to do anymore. Bringing in that energy of new ideas, seeing a new possibility that you didn't see before, opening that up, having that air sign really like breathe in some other options for us. Then moving into the sign of Cancer, where we are then emotionally triggered. All right. So one, we must be patient with ourselves and be more receptive than outward spoken, because this will serve you more positively. Take your time to digest information and not just impulsively react out of emotion, and really kind of take the time to see what is going on. If you need self-seclusion, you need self-seclusion. All right, but make sure you're being patient with other people too. Not to say that you're letting people walk over you, because a lot of us may be reviewing our boundaries at this time, especially because Saturn is going back to Capricorn and he is in the last degree of Aquarius. So we have been breaking down all of these boundaries and all of these structures. Now Capricorns, now with Saturn going back into Capricorn, we're going to be reevaluating them, and we're already starting to feel this energy of wanting to reevaluate our boundaries very strongly. Okay? And this is all to work for the betterment of us. We need to make sure that we are trying to flow with the planets and not flow against them. When we are resistant to change, things tend to blow up more than what they would have beforehand. And I want to make that abundantly clear. All right, so I hope that this video helps you guys. Please let me know if it does. Share if you feel pulled to, and please also like and subscribe the YouTube channel so you do not miss any other videos, as my YouTube videos sometimes are posted for hours before I end up getting the chance to share the link to Facebook as well. And if you feel you need a reading specifically for yourself, please do not hesitate to contact me. I'd love to work with you all.